Have you ever found yourself sitting in meetings hearing things like, let's pull in an SME for this, or have you updated the WBS, or what's the ROI on this? And you may find yourself thinking, I have no idea what half of those acronyms mean. And if that's happened to you, don't worry. It happens all the time, especially when you've been handed a project and expected to figure things out as you go. The reality is, project management kind of has its own language, and when you're new to running projects, it can feel like everyone else has got a dictionary that you somehow missed. Hi, I'm Adriana Girdler, creator of the SLAY Project Management Program, and for more than 2 decades, I've been helping professionals successfully lead projects, improve processes, and deliver results even when project management isn't their full-time job. And some things I've learned is that one of the fastest ways to build confidence as a project leader is to understand the language of project management. So today, I'm going to walk you through 10 project management acronyms you should know what they actually mean, and more importantly, why they matter when you're running a project. Now, before we get started, if you're serious about improving your project management skills and leading projects with greater confidence, be sure to subscribe. Join thousands of professionals who come here for practical, no-fluff advice they can use right away. Now, let's dive in. Let's start with PM. And no, I don't mean Prime Minister or preventative maintenance. In this instant, it stands for project manager, the person who leads a particular project from start to finish, through every stage of a project lifecycle. Now, a lot of people think a project manager's job is to do all the work, and that's not true. The real role of a PM is to create clarity, coordinate people, remove roadblocks, manage communication, and keep everyone moving towards the same goal. You're leading the project, not carrying the entire thing by yourself. That's an important mindset shift because many people who are new to projects try to solve every problem by themselves. The truth is, you don't need to know everything. In fact, one of the most important skills a project manager can develop is knowing where to go for the right information and expertise, which brings us to our next acronym, SME, which stands for Subject Matter Expert. These are the people who have deep expertise in a specific area of the project. For example, you're implementing new software, your SME might understand the technical details far better than you ever will. That's okay. Your role is to bring the right people together, ask the right questions, and make sure their expertise gets incorporated into the project. Great projects happen when project leaders leverage their SMEs effectively instead of trying to become experts in everything themselves. Before we dive into the next acronym, if you're new to running projects, I've created a free checklist to help you prepare before your kickoff meeting. It walks you through important steps to ensure success on every project. You can grab it by going to the link in the description box below. Another acronym you may hear as you gain more exposure to projects is PMO, which stands for Project Management Office. Now, not every organization has a PMO, especially in smaller companies, but if your organization does have one, you can think of it as the group that helps create consistency across projects. They often provide templates, standard training, governance, and guidance to help projects run more smoothly. If your organization does have a PMO, don't think of them as extra paperwork. Think of them as a resource. They usually build frameworks and processes that can save you a lot of time and headaches. You'll also hear people talk about STC, which stands for Steering Committee. This is a group of senior stakeholders who provide direction for a project. They approve major decisions, and they can help remove organizational roadblocks. When a project hits a challenge that's bigger than your authority, the steering committee can help make decisions and keep things moving forward. Think of them as your escalation path. If funding is needed, priorities need to change, or major decisions have to be made, this group can give you the support to keep your project from stalling. ROI stands for return on investment. This is one of the most important acronyms to senior executives. So guess what? You should know this because it answers a simple question. Is this project creating enough value to justify the time, money, and resources being invested? When you're new to running projects, it's important to remember that the goal isn't just to complete tasks. It's also to deliver something that solves the right problem, supports the organization goals, and creates meaningful value. That's really what ROI is all about. It helps you understand whether the investment being made in the project is actually producing the outcomes and benefits the organization expects. The best project leaders don't just focus on completing tasks. They focus on delivering results that matter to the business. And when priorities start competing for attention, keeping the ROI top of mind can help guide decisions. It keeps everyone focused on the bigger purpose behind the project instead of getting lost in the day-to-day activities or simply staying busy. WBS stands for Work Breakdown Structure, and this is one of my favorite project management tools. The WBS is a document that defines all the high-level work a project needs to accomplish and then breaks it down into multiple levels of deliverables or components similar to an org chart, so the work is easier to understand and, more importantly, manage. By breaking your projects into manageable chunks, you get to see all the moving parts so nothing gets missed. And instead of looking at one giant, overwhelming objective, you can see the major activities and the individual tasks needed to get there. And trust me, that makes planning, estimating, assigning work, and tracking progress much, much easier. Once you have the first 3 levels of your WBS in place, you can use that to create an action plan. I call it a WBS action plan in my SLAY project management framework. And I teach my students how to use it to list out and organize all the activities and tasks required to complete the projects. Then you can assign ownership to each of those tasks and set due dates so everyone is clear on what needs to happen, who's responsible, and when it needs to be done. KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator. KPIs are the measures you use to track whether your project is successful. They help you move beyond guessing and give you a clear way to see if the project is on track. Now, for example, if you're implementing a new customer service system, a KPI might be reducing average response times from 48 hours to 24 hours. That gives everyone a clear target and an objective way to measure whether the project is delivering the intended results. Without KPIs, you're relying on opinions, but with KPIs, you're relying on data, and they can help give you a clear way to track progress and determine whether you're moving towards your goals. The key is choosing measures that actually connect to the outcome you're trying to achieve. A KPI should help answer the question, are we getting closer to success? Not simply, are we staying busy? QC stands for quality control. This is a process of checking work to make sure it meets requirements before it's delivered. The key thing to remember, and this is important, is that quality shouldn't be checked only at the end of a project. The best project teams build quality checks throughout the process, so issues are caught early when they're actually easier to fix. I know this from experience because I've seen teams spend months building something only to discover at the end that it doesn't meet expectations. So believe me when I say that regular quality control helps prevent costly surprises and keeps your project moving in the right direction. A RACI matrix is a simple tool that clarifies who does the work on a project. RACI stands for Responsible, Accountable, Consulted, and Informed, and the matrix looks something like this. As you can see, it lists activities, identify who owns the outcome, and makes it clear who provides input and who needs update. This tool is helpful because whenever people are confused about responsibilities, a RACI matrix can quickly eliminate misunderstandings and prevent important work from falling through the cracks. Projects sometimes struggle when, let's be honest, everyone assumes someone else is handling a task. A RACI matrix is one way to help remove ambiguity and create accountability before confusion sets in. And finally, PMP, which stands for Project Management Professional, which is a professional certification awarded by the Project Management Institute, also known as PMI. Yes, one more acronym. So you're getting 11 acronyms for the price of 10 today. Value, value, value. And if you've been looking into project management as something to pursue career-wise, you may have seen PMP listed on job postings, mentioned in articles, or brought up in conversations as the gold standard for project management education. Now, I have my PMP, and it is a well-recognized certification for a reason. But here's something important to understand. Just because it's widely recognized certification doesn't mean it's the best place to start formally learning about project management, especially if you're pretty new to running projects. In fact, PMI requires several years and thousands of hours of project management experience before you're even eligible to sit for the exam. That's because the PMP is designed to validate experience you've already gained, not teach you how to manage your very first project, which is exactly why I always tell people that practical skills come first. When you're new to this, you need to learn how to run a project, build a scope statement, a project charter, a WBS, and an action plan, and learn how to navigate challenges. And then, when you're ready, certifications like the PMP can strengthen and formalize what you already know. That's actually why I created SLAY Project Management Program. It's designed for people who are newer to running projects and need a practical framework they can apply immediately. Inside SLAY, you get a step-by-step approach to managing projects, plus more than 25 project document templates, so you have practical tools that you use right away. But probably the most valuable part of the program for new people is what I call Ask Adriana, which is my live weekly online coaching session where you get to drop in with any project questions or challenges you're having and get guidance directly from me. That can be so helpful because there are a million project scenarios you won't find in a textbook. And sometimes you just get stuck and don't know what to do next. And when you get to ask someone who's been through those situations before, well, you get information you can use right away to get unstuck. So be sure to check the program out by going to slaypm.com for all the details. Now that you understand these 10 acronyms, you get to walk into project conversations with more confidence because you'll actually understand what people are talking about when they start throwing random letters around. If you want to keep going, you can work on expanding your project vocabulary further by learning some of the larger language of project management. The more familiar you are with that language, the easier it becomes to communicate with stakeholders, participate in meetings, and make informed decisions. And most importantly, navigate the challenges that come up throughout a project. You don't need project management certification to build that knowledge, but you do need exposure to the terms, concepts, and frameworks that experienced project professionals use every day. That's why I put together a video that breaks down 50 of the most important project management terms in an easy to understand way. So watch it next and keep on learning. Don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.